Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new video where we are going to be going over the top 5 tips that every single Yuumi player needs to know. As you can tell right now, Riot has sent me my very own Yuumi because I have had to deal with so many shitty low diamond ADCs that they just felt so bad for me. They're like, okay, just send this guy a Yuumi, and we got him. And always watching over from the window. Alright, guys, so if you're new to the channel, my name is Lofa. I do educational content. I do tip videos, I do guide videos. I'm starting to do kind of other stuff as well. I am also streaming on Twitch. I'm going to put a link down below if you guys are interested at all in that. So let's jump into one of the... I am just really excited about this champion. I don't know if it's because I main support. I play a lot of different types of supports, from enchanters to AP mages to tanks. So I was really pumped to see that there was a new support coming into town, especially a little kitty support, which is so cute. So my number one tip right now for Yuumi is you really should be looking at team comps, and where Yuumi is going to be the most effective pick is number one. She is extremely good against enemy AoE wombo combo teams because of her kit and her ability to be invulnerable when she is attached to an enemy, which is going to be so big. Just imagine not being able to be hit by just a random ZQ from a shadow, or a random Amumu ult, which is getting a lot more popular with Amumu coming in with those buffs. So it's just such a strong ability for her to just be invulnerable when she is attached to someone. So please keep that in mind when you are looking to pick up Yuumi. Is if you see an enemy team that's a wombo combo, she is just such a great champion in being able to avoid a lot of that AoE damage. Second, it's still part of tip 1, but what you should be looking for when you are playing Yuumi is just either a really strong champion with engage. Yuumi will do extremely well with champions like Hecarim, where she can speed them up, give him more AD, and really increase his ability to engage. And second, a hyper carry ADC, Yuumi is going to perform extremely well with, as will any kind of enchanter support, but Yuumi will work particularly well with Twitch, because this is going to add another person stealth when they're attached to the Twitch. And then also Twitch is obviously a hyper carry that is going to just really benefit a lot from increased movement speed from her E. So keep this in mind when you're looking to pick Yuumi, is just try and find a couple of those situations to pick her. If you see an enemy wombo combo team and you have a heavy engage jungler or top laner like Hecarim, and you have a hyper carry ADC, that is just the perfect time to pick Yuumi. So keep that in mind, and that will wrap up tip number 1. Alright, and jumping into tip number 2 for you guys, since I am releasing this video when a lot of you people are probably going to start playing her, because she is just going to be the new champion, the new thing, and everyone wants to play her. I just want to go over the optimal way to use every single one of her abilities. It's going to be extremely important that you follow these, or at least have some sort of understanding before jumping into a rank game. If I can help just 1 or 2 of you guys just be a little bit better at Yuumi before you bring her into a game, I think I have done my job. So first up, let's go over the passive. Now, the passive, it deals more damage and gets a really large slow if they're able to hit after a certain amount of distance is traveled. The easiest way to affect this and hit this Q is to do as tight of a circle as possible when you are throwing it out, and then going straight at them. Sometimes if you are throwing your Q just directly straight at the enemies, it is not going to have enough travel time to get bigger and have that rather large slow. So always just do a quick tight circle, and it will always be able to reach the end of the circle reticule when you are attached to someone. So just keep this in mind when you are attached to someone and you are throwing out your Q, is to just do as tight of a circle as possible. See how that wasn't really too tight of a circle, and it took too long to get to the end of the reticule when I just kind of lollygagged a bit around like that. That is going to be a really suboptimal way to do it. So just do as tight of a circle around Yuumi as possible, and then throw it out and look for your enemies, because the last thing you want is to be, say someone's maxing Q and they're a higher AP build. If they're just throwing their Q out straight, and it gets blocked by a tank, that's going to be extremely poor. So always keep this in mind, that you want to do a tight circle before going out your Q. Next, we have W. Now this is extremely important, particularly for those who are going to be looking to do a more of an offensive build. I just have a random build. I don't think anyone knows for sure what's going to be the most meta build setup on her. I just know that her shields and heals are going to be extremely strong in my opinion. So I'm guessing that Ardent will at least be one of the items used on it. But if you're someone that is going to be building a little bit more offensive to try and grant people a crap ton of AD and AP, just make sure when you are attaching to people that it is the person that is going to benefit the most from the bonus that you're providing to each other. Particularly, you can dash. Let me turn off the auto refresh cooldown. So the cooldown is rather low when you are just dashing around at the max level. So what I want you guys to look at is when you're like, oh, I have a Fizz mid laner. When does he need the most AP as possible? If he is the strongest person on my team, I want to look for his engage when he throws out his shark. I want to be attached to him, and he can provide a really good engage for me to throw out the ult. So always think about how the team fight is going to go. What are the most crucial parts of the team fight? Do you have a Malphite on your team that's going to throw out a big ult? And you probably want to be attached for that, because it will provide a lot of CC for your final chapter, and you'll be able to give a lot of AP to the Malphite to increase that damage. Hecarim, as I said, is just, I think, going to be one of the best champions to play Yuumi with. So just keep that in mind. If you have something like you want like a burst champion. So if you see something like a Misfortune on your team, you definitely want to be attached to her when she's throwing out her ult. So just keep this in mind, kind of play around with it. I think you're going to get better with it as you play more Yuumi. So just have that decent understanding when you are looking to pick her up. And next up, we have her E. So this is going to be best used, I think, on your carries. Is going to be the most important, because when you provide movement speed to an ADC, it is so extremely beneficial. And now this is why I think they're going to be more AP heavy builds, is because you have movement speed that scales with AP is so extremely strong. See how it gives like 79% AP or 79% movement speed, which is 500 AP, which is just extremely strong. Make sure you're attached and sharing AP when you are casting your E. It's just going to be so really strong. And now your heals work a little bit like what would be a good example, like an Alawi Q or a more recently a Silas W, where the more missing health, the more you will heal. So keep this in mind. Do not just throw heals when they took their first auto and they're still at 95%. You're going to get a lot larger heals when the champion is at a really low health and you do have those 2 charges. So just look to play it out in a way that is going to be the most beneficial for your team. That will wrap up E. And then finally R. This is going to be what's really going to, in my opinion, is going to separate the poor Yumis from the very strong Yumis. Now, with her ultimate, it's going to be so insanely strong because it provides an AoE root. Any kind of AoE CC is going to be extremely strong. So you want to have the right target up when you are looking to ult. I think the best way to do this is to be attached to someone and have someone provide a CC and then kind of be hidden. You're a lot more recognizable when you're by yourself, so you're a little bit harder to see when you're just attached to someone. So look to do this and kind of work off other people's engages. Oh god, Nasus is attacking Yuumi. Again, big ultimate AoEs with CC, like I've said a bunch of times before, Malphite and Hecarim. This is going to be the best for final chapter to work off that. Also, another big point with Yumi's ultimate is looking for engagements that are going to be in very condensed areas. Say you're baiting a Baron, this is a perfect time to look for an ultimate down this, because it is just going to be a really hard to avoid spell, and they either have to run away or they're going to have to eat the damage. So look for one of their teammates to engage, and then make your enemy team choose to either follow up with that one guy that engaged or run away from your ultimate, and that will cause a lot of chaos in the enemy's team. That wrap up kind of the longer tip I have here, but always look to use these in the most optimal spots, because she has a very interesting and strong kit. All right, and I want to get into tip number 3 here. I think this is really important. I think this is a great kind of ability that Yumi has, and it is her attach mechanic is going to be extremely strong when she is getting chased down. Say a very classic thing for a lot of support players out there is say they're warding Baron and they're getting caught out. There's a big amount of team and they're running at them. Always ping your allies similar to how you would with a Thresh Lantern and try and get them close to here so you can get an escape for yourself with your W attached. I think this is so insanely important for playing that. And then also you can be dashing in and out. I know I have the cooldown reduction thing on, but you can look to just really use that little bit of odd mobility where you can be jumping over walls with Yumi is going to be extremely important, particularly in situations where they are looking to take objectives that are in condensed areas. And as we know, with Yumi's ultimate, it is just so extremely strong in just situations where they are in condensed areas, and you can throw out your ultimate and then you can just dash right back out. So you can kind of play it like Lee Sin a little bit, which is pretty cool. So look to take advantage of W. Don't always just be attached and stay attached. You can do this in other situations. You can be using this in different ways where you're kind of jumping over walls in your faux mobility with your W. All right, now we'll wrap up this tip. Alright, and jumping into tip number 4, this is going to be extremely important. I think that it's going to separate the poor Yumis from the extremely good Yumis, is your ability to draw out cooldowns on yourself and use your mobility and your invulnerability to escape. What I would want to give as an example here would be something like a Zed or an assassin with a high importance cooldown that is going to play out extremely is going to be extremely important in the team fights. If you can draw any ire from the enemy team by being unattached, and for as long as you can be just kind of an annoyance by either speeding and healing yourself up and then getting slows on them, which is going to be rather big, and then when they're using their big ability cooldowns, you run over and you're attached and you are untargetable. So the best way to do this, in my opinion, would be, say this player is a Zed. They are coming after you because they're like, oh, the Yumi isn't attached, I'm going to try and burst her out before she can get into it. He throws out his W right here. You do your zoom away, and then you slow them when they're trying to chase you. And then when he uses his ultimate, all you have to do is attach and then counter engage with your ultimate. So always look to take advantage of your ability to go into the invulnerability. I don't think you should be starting every fight unless you have extremely hard engage with something like Hecarim. I think that this is a great way to draw out a lot of abilities. Now, this will probably be the most, you'll be able to do this the most in the early parts of Yuumi, where before people start to really understand that starting the fight out and drawing a lot of attention and then attaching and being invulnerable is going to be a great way to draw out cooldowns. As always, guys, I forgot to say this at the start of the video, crap. Where if you have any of your own tips, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. And I just really love when I see a bunch of people just trying to help each other out in the comments, because that's really how I've built my channel, is to just kind of help lower elo players that are struggling to climb, or maybe some new players. So if I get some more experienced players in here that are really interested in helping out other people as well, please comment down below. It will be much appreciated. Alright, and for the final tip, I want to go over some items that are going to be extremely strong on Yuumi, in my opinion, if you are not snowballing and you just need kind of the cheaper items that are going to provide a lot of impact in the team fights. The first one I want to cover is Zeke's Convergence, which is huge against divers, because what you are going to be able to provide for a teammate that is constantly getting dove on by something like a Zed or a Fizz or a Hecarim or an Aurelia, like any fighter that's looking to burst out your ADC. What Zeke's is going to provide is it is going to put a slow field around your ADC because you are attached to them. It's just going to be so huge. It's just going to provide a large buffer zone for your ally to kite back, and when you see that they are looking to kite back, you can even give them a heal and a movement speed, which is just going to be so insane. So you have the ability to give them a slow extra auto damage. The Frostfire Covenant they're going to be stacking together, so I think Zeke's is going to be almost a must buy for Yuumi, at least in my opinion. I think it's such a strong support item that's underrated on a lot of different champions, so keep this in mind when you are looking to do that. And then also the slow field provided by Zeke's is going to give you a higher chance to hit your root on your on this item. And there's just so many items that work so well with Yuumi that I really want you guys to try out. That yeah, you do give AP and you share each other's converted adapted force, but there are going to be some items that are going to be quite effective in other ways. Particularly things like Shrelia is going to be extremely strong. First of all, it gives you ability power, which is going to be really big, and then movement speed and cooldown reduction, always really nice. But the greatest thing it's going to provide is it's going to provide that movement speed, and it's going to allow your teammate to position your ultimate in such a really, really strong way, because they're going to have the increased movement speed. Also, you can provide the E and then the Shirelias, and it's just gonna be, you're just turning the champion you're attached to into this monster with all of these different items. So keep this in mind. Kind of play out the different situations with the different items in your head, like which one is gonna have the biggest impact. In my opinion, Zeke's is gonna be extremely strong on the ability, because a lot of the times mage supports or things like Janna, like enchanters, it's really tough for them to take full advantage of the slows provided by Zeke's, because you're very squishy and you don't want to be just in the front lines. But when you're attached and invulnerable, you are going to be able to provide just that great slow field in front of them, and it's just going to really open up and provide more zone control for your hyper carry. That will wrap up my video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more educational content. Again, if you want to ask me any questions live, I'm going to put a Discord link in the comments down below, and my Twitch, and I try to be as interactive with you guys as possible. So you can hit me up on those two platforms, and I'll try my best to help you out. As always, guys, take it easy.